Drunk people who are willing to be blindfolded and taste this food, I actually think you could convince them to eat it and that they would think it would taste okay. Now, for ethical reasons, I would never be willing to do that, but it's such a powerful chemical that it'll trick your taste buds into thinking that the food is edible when it's not. It basically overstimulates your tongue in certain aspects, and then it switches off other things in your tongue as well, and so you end up overeating and your body craving more and more of this food, and you'll see things like, what is those things they call, like, once you pop you just can't stop. Right. But things like that, or possibly Pringles, would be full of MSG, but what they'll say on the boxes, they might even say no way MSG, but they have around 39 different names for MSG, like yeast extract, flavouring and different things. And so they, at any time people become aware of a certain thing that's not good for you in food, what they do is they just manipulate your reality by changing the name or altering the components very slightly. And a guy, I can't remember his name, but he basically speaks on the dangers of MSG and excitotoxins. And one of the big food retailers come up and he says, why are you telling everybody about MSG? He says, as soon as you do this, he says, sure, we're just going to change the name anyway, so it's not going to make any difference. And he said, so he then made that public, what your man had said to him. But the thing is, like, these multinational corporations are all infected with an incurable case of world domination fever, and they don't care about your health. The only thing they're concerned about is profits. And you need to educate yourself. You need to be aware of what you're putting into your body. And the thing is that, you know, rather than taking all this on board and being overwhelmed, what you need to do is to take small steps consistently over a long period of time, and you're going to eventually sort of set the game up that you can win it. So what you can do is, like I said earlier, walk for 5 minutes a day if you can, and if you can, increase it to 10 or 15 minutes. Drink the water. The water's just going to help you. I mean, it would be better if you could drink high quality filtered water, but if not, even drinking tap water is still going to be incredibly beneficial compared to not drinking any water. If you're drinking any of those fizzy drinks whatsoever, any fizzy drinks, like they're pure poison. Cancer absolutely thrives on sugar, and they will rot your teeth. And one of the worst things that you could ever drink is Red Bull or any of those energy drinks. Those energy drinks are full of taurine, they're full of caffeine, and they're full of aspartame E951. And aspartame is an excitotoxin which will excite your brain cells so much that they'll usually die within an hour of you taking it. And not only that, they're highly addictive. And these food scientists, this is not by accident. These food scientists get paid more if they can make the food more and more addictive. So they, like I said earlier, they manipulate the dynamic contrast, how it feels in your mouth, the trigeminal nerve in your mouth, how all these different sensations feel. And what happens is that they just go out and they make these different things and they try them on people. And the ones that are the most addictive are the ones that are used. This is not an accident in any way, shape or form. And then you find, you go to hospitals and they've got McDonald's and Burger Kings in the food courts, and like that start, like over America, there's, I mean, so many in those hospitals around the world. And McDonald's is the food company from hell. The stuff that they put in that is not fit for human consumption, and under no circumstances would I even allow anybody to give it to a dog. If you go on YouTube and you check any of the videos, you'll see there's McDonald's burgers that are 5 and 10 and 15 years old, and you get one that's like a day old and you set the two of them side by side. You can't tell the difference, because why does it not decompose? The bacteria won't even eat it. It's so synthetic and so plastic. And then they put in their chicken McNuggets a thing called dimethyl polysiloxane, something that they use in silicone breast implants and silicone greases. And I mean, this just definitely doesn't belong in the food chain. Has anybody any questions, anything you just want me to cover, or any areas of interest I can elaborate?
We asked what earlier. We did.
Right, that's okay. It's just if there's anything you're unsure of. Or
what about people who are addicted to like Red Bull and Monster Energy drinks?
Well, the thing is, with those drinks, they're incredibly addictive. So what you need to do is you need to try and slowly wean them off them. Mm-hmm. And you know, you may be given those drinks, you might want to try some of those natural fruit juices that are not from concentrate and see if you can get them to do it. But one of the things, and I know it is a difficult thing, stop buying it.
I don't buy it. My son races motocross.
Right.
So when he's not with me, he'd be buying it with his friends, and I'd love to see the people who are selling them because he's only 14.
Right. Well, the thing is, the children are allowed to buy them. To
They
me,
shouldn't be. It's disgusting.
I know. I just think it's one of the most immoral things you can do, and you see people as well. And one of the worst things you could do is mix it with vodka.
Oh, I had a friend who actually mixed Red Bull with vodka, and he was rushed into hospital, and his whole brain actually swole up, and
Right.
his face, he showed pictures in hospital, his brain was actually like swollen up like that. And
They actually sell it in bars.
They
Yeah, so-
actually give it away at the racing. They give it to the kids,
Yeah, they get them.
knowing they're going to buy more.
Yeah. So what happens with Red Bull is it really stimulates your body incredibly and gets you totally jacked and up there. Then you've got the vodka or the alcohol taking you way down. So the body's just being stretched its resources in both directions. So you're putting the most significant demand on it.
So it's actually the worst thing. You see loads of people drinking vodka and Red
Yeah,
Bull.
you cannot, you just can't drink that stuff. It's just pure poison. It's actually, seriously, it should be banned. It should be an illegal substance. It just, to me, it's one of those things that doesn't belong in the human body. It's so completely detrimental. And then you'll see anything like other brands of product that claim to be energy drinks, or you'll see these things like Lucozade and stuff. They're just absolutely full of sugar, and they say, "Well, it hydrates better, this, that, and the other." I don't know where or who they bought to do that research, but that is so
The
fundamentally
girl
flawed.
in Femur Health, she actually told me, because I went in and spoke to her about Josh ages ago, and she said to me, the best one you can buy is the Lucozade still, because it was invented over here, and they made it without the rubbish in it.
Right. Anything with sugar in it is junk. It just feeds cancer like you couldn't imagine. Sugar is the fuel of choice for cancer. It loves sugar. If you want cancer to grow faster than anything, take lots of sugar. It'll thrive in that environment. But the thing is, it is difficult to get children off these drinks now because they're so promoted, they're so part of the culture. And you'll see them, especially another thing I see as well is that you go to the gym. I mean, I go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week if I can, and you'll see guys come in and they're marketed with this Lynx body spray and avoid premature perspiration and stuff. What a load of junk. And making guys feel incredibly insecure, or as if as soon as you spray this stuff on you, these women are going to start falling at your feet. And it's the hardest part of me going to the gym is breathing that crap in after I come out. And I actually went to the management and says, "Look, can you put an extractor fan in to take that stuff out?" And to me, it's another thing where the beauty industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, used to make so much money out of women, and now they've now got men caught up in that sort of stuff. And I don't use any deodorants, antiperspirants, aftershaves, body washes, anything at all at any time. I don't buy any chemicals. The only one chemical in my entire life I ever use is I can't get any natural form of shaving cream, and I'll use a shaving cream every now and again. That's all I'll ever use. Other than that, I haven't had shampoo in my hair probably 5-6 years. Any deodorants, I've never put a deodorant on my body once in my entire life.
What about all the chemical-free ones apparently that you can get? Is that all
Why
right?
would I even want to wear a deodorant? I don't smell.
Because you're so healthy though, but what about the rest of us
Well, the
that's
thing-
full of toxins?
Well, the thing is, there probably are natural ones or salt sticks that
Yeah, salt.
people can use. But the thing is that rather than mask a bad odor, why not clean up what would be causing the bad odor in the first place?
When you think about it, isn't it really?
But that's and they've got people so paranoid. I mean, your body odor is as individual as your fingerprint. It's just like your eyes. They're all individual. There's no two eyes the same. The thing that I see sometimes these incredibly good-looking women, I think, you know what? Actually, before I would let you into my house, I'd have to wash it. They're just so chemically,
Toxic.
absolutely maxed out and this stuff. And sometimes, you see women, and you walk past in the street, and I don't have a good sense of smell, and you feel like you've been hit up the face with a baseball bat with the amount of the stuff. It's I think they've been using it for so long they can't smell it anymore. They just put more and more and more and more. But most of those things that you put in your body, they're very, very harmful to you.
What do you think of aromatherapy oils? And things like
Aromatherapy
that?
oils are good,
Are they?
and they're natural. As long as they're natural oils,
Yeah.
what you'll find is that you'll get people that will produce synthetic version of those oils. Just like incense sticks, when they're made from the natural product, they're very healing and very therapeutic and beneficial. But then you get the ones that are made from chemicals, and they'll cut the eyes out of you, and they'll cut the throat
How
out
are
of
you
you.
supposed to know? So, like, where to go to buy the proper stuff?
Well,
If they're
you-
selling all this stuff in the health shops,
well, the first thing as well is like a health shop is got very little to do with health.
it's bullshit.
Like at least 80% of the stuff in health food shops is not healthy for you or actually harmful to you. But the thing is, and you go into any health food shop, they're all selling the junk. They're all selling supplements that are full of magnesium stearate, titanium dioxide, silicon dioxide, and calcium carbonate, all complete junk. And if you don't know anything about supplements, I have a blog. I can't remember the title of it, but it's about basically supplements. And if you go to my blog on superfood7.com and look at the blog, it'll tell you why you shouldn't take most of those supplements. And then you'll get these special offers again, like, you know, buy one for $9.99 and get the second one for a penny. You're getting ripped off for a penny for the second one because it's not even worth a penny, and it's probably going to do you more harm than good. They're absolute junk, and what they do is they take loads of bulkers, filling agents and excipients and put in a small amount of the active ingredient or a synthetic version of what the active ingredient is, and then they'll sell this to you. And like, your body definitely knows the difference. And when you take synthetic vitamins or supplements, what your body's immune system reacts to it, and your body will have an adverse reaction to it. But what you'll find is that most people think, oh, I'm taking this, and somebody recommended this, and they'll take it, and the stuff isn't beneficial for you at all in any way, and in a lot of cases can be harmful. And one of the most terrible things that I saw recently was I was in Sainsbury's one day, and like there's only about probably 3 aisles out of the whole supermarket I can even walk down. The rest of it's like just a no-go zone. But I happened to be cutting through to one of the cash registers, and I walked down the aisle where they have the vitamins and supplements, and there they had the supplementation for pregnant women. And the thing was, they had a security tag on it in case somebody stole it. And I lifted it and I looked at the ingredients in it, and I just thought, you know what, they should be prosecuted for what they're putting into that. Like the stuff that they were putting into, I can't remember the ingredients now, but it either would have been harmful to the baby and harmful to the mother, and most definitely under no circumstances should a pregnant woman be taking that junk. But that's the mainstream world, that's the commercial world where I was saying to you earlier about TV. If it's on TV, if it's advertised on TV, that's a good indication that you should never buy it. Because multinational corporations advertise their toxic products on TV. You've never heard like natural turmeric or maca powder or anything that has incredible healing benefits advertised on TV. Why? Because there's no money in natural foods and natural therapies. Just like cancer. Cancer is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And when you get caught in that net, you will not escape. You will not escape from that. What they'll do is they'll just put you through the cut, poison, burn model of the world. And there is absolutely no desire to ever find a cure. All they're interested in is disease management, because there's profit in managing the disease. There's no profit in cure. And taking something like turmeric is so much more powerful and more effective than chemotherapy, but you can't patent it. And it takes, I can't remember, but it was something like, it's definitely hundreds of millions. I think it's around $300 million, but I can't remember the exact amount, but it's a very large amount of money that it takes from when the pharmaceutical company starts clinical trials until it goes to market. So they want a return on their investment, so they have very a high vested interest in making sure that they sell that product. And like I used to trade the stock market years ago, and I traded it for years, and I did hundreds and hundreds of trades. And one of the most lucrative places to trade was in pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceutical companies in a lot of cases, make huge amounts of money, and they have all these like really extreme drugs that if you read the side effects on them, they can include like, you know, irritability, nausea. Some of them give you like all sorts of like illnesses, and in a lot of cases death. Like when I read the side effects, I think, give me the disease any day. And I recently spoke to a woman, and she wasn't even in a relationship, but she was taking birth control injections for a lot of years, and they didn't tell her, or she didn't read the small print, but eventually it gave her osteopenia, which is a precursor to osteoporosis. Then they wanted to bring her in and give her lots of x-rays and lots of stuff. And so many of these drugs will completely destroy your body, and your body is not deficient in some pharmaceutical potion. But even birth control pills, different things, all these things have an adverse effect on your body because you're destroying or interrupting your body's natural rhythms and cycles. But most people, they go to a doctor who has absolutely no training in nutrition whatsoever, and whatever problem it is, there's only one solution. It's take 2 of these 3 times a day, come back in a lot. It doesn't matter whether it's psychological or physical. You're going to be prescribed something. And the other thing as well, I don't know about the UK, but in America, what they do is they pay doctors large amounts of money to go out and do talks about the benefits of their drugs. And they wine and dine them. They hire ex-models and cheerleaders and stuff like that to take them on trips and look after them and stuff. And that's use your imagination, people. I'd say there are probably a lot more benefits than they want to actually declare. But the thing is that this is a very corrupt system, where the doctor gets paid. Every time you get a vaccine, the doctor gets paid. That is not impartial advice. And things, I remember a statement, I can't remember who wrote it, but it was like, it said it's very, very hard for a man to understand something, especially if his salary depends on him not understanding it. And so a lot of times these people don't want to actually know the truth, because if they did know the truth, they wouldn't be getting paid anymore if they actually told the truth. And so your health is a very, very winnable game. We all, by default, our bodies want to heal themselves. It wants to find its homeostatic balance. It wants to come into balance and harmony all the time. It craves to do that every single day, every moment of every day. But what happens with people is they eat the junk food, they watch the TV, they're sitting doing all these different things, and eventually they just become more and more conditioned to lead a lifestyle that is unhealthy. And the foods that we're eating are full of opiates. They are highly, highly addictive. And I find when I'm at home, usually I don't eat once a day. Sometimes for entertainment I eat twice a day. But when I travel, I find that I have to eat the mainstream junk or the food. And so what I find is, if I didn't eat anything at all today, I could easily, there's many days I find I don't even eat my breakfast at 5 in the evening, and I usually don't eat after 6 o'clock at night. But what I find is when I travel and I have to eat that junk, once I start eating it, I can't stop eating it, and I'm so hungry all the time. I'd actually be better off if I didn't eat breakfast or lunch and just had an evening meal. But what I find is I go through the day and I eat something, and then 20 minutes or half an hour later I want to eat again, and then eat something again, and I want to keep eating and eating and eating, and I can't do that. I just find it's really difficult. And then I find when I travel, when I come home, I will eat it, but then I'll go on to I'll come home and I'll detox. I'll do my infrared saunas, I'll drink my water, I'll drink my juices, I'll go back to the gym, I'll go back to my meditation and different things, and I'll get myself back into balance and harmony. But I remember a few years ago travelling around Ireland, and I brought all my supplements and my superfoods in the boot of the car, but I'd been eating hotel food and eating on the road for 2 or 3 days, and I couldn't understand why my energy was down, my brain was really foggy. I mean, I could really notice my consciousness being affected by eating that processed junk. And then I remembered I had that stuff in the car, so I went out to the car, brought the stuff into the hotel room, and I took loads and loads of proper 100% natural supplements, like an Organic India range, which is a really beautiful ethical company doing the right things for the right reasons. Took a lot of different powders and potions and the MSM and different things, and within about 20 minutes I could just actually feel the fog lifting and me get my energy and my vitality back. And so food has a massive, massive impact on how you feel and how your health is. But most doctors don't realise that food matters, and also a lot of doctors think that the mind and the body are completely separate. The biggest aspect that I find, and with working with people, if they have been diagnosed with a disease, is that if they believe the doctor's God, I'm wasting my time, because they will just follow them blindly to their death. where you get somebody that thinks, well, actually they're willing to think outside the box and they're willing to accept responsibility that they created the disease, which is something that they usually don't want to hear.